Yo, what's happening, my boys? It's Capture
What's
Media.
good?
I got my brother Muhammad, my other brother Omar Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
and you
Yo,
got
yo.
me today. And today, we just want to chop it up about monogamy, man. So y'all, honestly, I jumped straight into. I'm bad at intros. I'm always better at that shit. So
Yeah,
I
oh,
was just
you
looking
are
into
good at intros,
monogamy,
though.
bro. Because what really got me looking into monogamy. I started thinking about like, all right, we see our boy. I don't know the comedian Akash. I don't want to fuck up his name. Is that it, Akash? I see that
Yeah.
guy. I've been looking at
Akash
other
Singh.
celebrities. I've been looking at other celebrities. Will Smith. I look at Stephen Curry recently. I look at men I know in my life. I look at shit, even some of this relationship shit y'all tell me y'all go through. And I just see more shit. And I just start to realize like what kind of nigga could keep a woman forever, bro? Cause it don't seem like no type of nigga could keep a woman forever, bro. You could be the goodest nigga in any type of metric, and it doesn't seem to ever seem like I never see a nigga say we was married for. Only niggas I see that was married for 50 years is like old players who didn't even like. I don't never see a nigga who wanted to be married to a woman for like 50 years actually keep it that way, bro. Like if he's this kind of guy, he wants this, she wants this kind of guy later. Like Akash did everything right as far as providing and protecting. As far he might not be the toughest guy or the most bad boy, but he did his part. He's still getting disrespected. Stephen Curry is fucking uh by any metric a great man, but he gets disrespected. There's gangsters who you be like, okay, maybe it's the bad boy. Now it's gangsters and dons and mafia niggas who get cheated on. So it's like the nerdy nigga get cheated on. The romantic like I don't see what nigga keeps a girl. Like what personality type or combination of traits would actually keep a woman from the time she's dateable until she dies. I don't think there's any. My conclusion: women are not really monogamous. They are what we call serial monogamous. Serial
Mm,
monogamy is very different than monogamy. And I would argue it is just as bad as whatever you want to call what men do. Let me go into it a little deeper. So I was looking into monogamy. First of all, it says that I was looking at UN statistics. So from over 50 countries, which means that this is beyond any sort of cultural thing, because 50 countries, that divorce rates peak at about year 3 to 4,
mm,
which also seems to coincide with the fact that dopamine levels drop naturally about the third or fourth year in relationships. Dopamine, there's a part of your brain called the ventral tegumental system, or tegumental part of your brain that activates when you fall in love, which supposedly releases this chemical, and it
like
supposedly,
dopamine.
yeah, it supposedly dissipates around 3 to 4, which also science seems to say coincides with around the time where a child will be old enough to no longer really need a father. With all of this evidence kind of combined, it looks like we're only meant to get together to procreate temporarily and then switch partners. And I think even women are designed to do that. So again, this is all going by the way in which our brain operates. So the three things that supposedly are involved with attachment are like testosterone, which is the initial lust part. So that's the part. I guess we're heavy on testosterone, so maybe that's why we're heavy on the lust part. I'm kind of freestyling here because I was learning this shit and it's really interesting, bro. Because I really don't understand how do you keep a woman, bro? How do you keep her? So I'm looking into it. Okay, so then the lust part, that's testosterone. Then dopamine, that's the love romantic, like addiction chemical for pair bonding. Again, science says that this dissipates naturally around year 3 to 4, 2 to 3. It starts to go down by year 3 to 4. If it hasn't switched to oxytocin, which is the last part, which is the attachment part, you're not going to get past probably year 3, they say. Now, with oxytocin, they don't even, what I'm looking at, they don't even say how long that shit even lasts. I don't even know. But from what I've seen, most divorces peak around year 3 to 4, and science has also coincided that with the fact that that's around the time where children are no longer dependent on fathers, like I was saying. But what do you think about that, bro? I got more shit here that I want to go into, but what just off of
I
that, bro?
think I think so. Just real quick, I think the only thing that overrides that is duty and responsibility, consciously, right? This is why I say naturally, if you leave people to their own devices, they're going to do what the fuck they want to do. This is why religion and culture is very important. And this is why you see marriages failing, because most women, even if they might come from a strong culture or a religious background, because they live in modernity and have so much social pressure and just what they're associating with in the present moment, they tend to actually be more, they acquiesce more so to what's around them, their friends, TV, social media. So the only fucking way, I think the only way to go about it, as a man at least, because we all know a woman can walk away, she's not going to lose money. She's going to have, most of the time, majority custody of the kids. Alimony is taken from man to woman. So even if a woman doesn't have a successful marriage, she doesn't really lose, right? So this is for the men. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only date women, well, only marry women that approach marriage like a duty and responsibility. Whereas that they still adhere willfully to their way of life that was given to them from their parents and their culture, right? Not a woman that comes from that, but she doesn't respect that. You have to pay close attention and make sure that she respects her parents' wishes and the wishes of her culture. That's the only way I think marriage is still worth it for men. And another thing too, you made a great point. I think women tend to get bored, right? And what happens is them getting bored and them having access to social media, them having access to men globally, getting attention and validation, they tend to think that they can replace their husband. So a woman will be loyal to you as long as she thinks you're the best man that she can get. The moment she thinks there's other men out there better than you and they're giving her attention, even though that attention just might be sexual attention and not long-term commitment attention, she will test that fucking water. So with all that being said, I don't think a long-term commitment or marriage is a good deal for men in modern day time. I think just have fun, get your money up, go to the gym, level the fuck up, and play how you want to play.
Do
And
you
it's
think
unfortunate.
monogamy? Do you think monogamy? And I'm gonna let Os go next, but I just want to. Do you think monogamy is natural for men or women?
I think monogamy is more natural for women. I don't think women are meant to have a bunch of baby mothers.
Do you think
It doesn't
no?
work.
When I say monogamy, I want to separate monogamy from serial monogamy because serial monogamy just talks about 3 or 4 years, bro. If you knew a car was gonna break down in 3 or 4 years, would you treat it the same? If I took if look, if I told you,
Well,
like, if I knew for sure that a car that I'm buying is going to break down in 3 to 4 years, statistically, it
I wouldn't
might
even
go.
fucking take a chance on it. I wouldn't even get that car.
How would you date something you know? How would you treat something you knew would break on you versus something that?
But men don't know this. That's the problem.
But that's why we're looking at the fucking seas right now, and then we're
Well, I
saying,
don't think, but Todd, it's not that. So here's where I disagree slightly. I don't think that women are not meant to be monogamous. I think now because social media is giving women this idea that they can replace their husbands quickly, right? I think women are geared to be with the best man. The only thing was that back in the day, there wasn't social media. It's like going to a restaurant when there's only two things on the fucking menu. You're going to be happy because it's only two things. But if you order one thing on a menu that has 50 other options, you're always going to be wondering, like, damn, should I have ordered this? Should I have ordered that? So I think now, because of what's going on socially, I think women think that they can easily replace the men that they're with, right? They don't have realistic expectations. So I think, are they meant to be monogamous based on their biology? Yes. But the stage is set for them to think that they have more options than they really do for long-term commitment.
I got more to say, but I want O to speak.
All right, so I think you said a lot, right? Which is some good stuff. But I'm gonna start like this. First, you mentioned a lot of guys, right? Akash, Steph Curry, Will Smith. And I think, see where they went wrong. First, this is how you keep your girl. You gotta like the girl who likes you. Y'all gonna kill me because I say this every time.
Nigga,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
No, this is where it starts. Akash, think about it. He liked her. He saw a girl, he fell for her. She never liked him. Steph Curry, he liked Aisha. She didn't even really want to be in a relationship with him. Will Smith, as much as I love him, Will Smith, he wanted Jada Pinkett. When he saw her, he just had to have her. She didn't have
And she
to
wanted
decide.
Tupac.
So these women never really liked these men, right? So if you want to have a strong foundation of keeping a woman, you have to get with a woman who likes you, right? That's first and foremost. And then the second thing you touched on, which I thought was great, you touched on the number 3. Now in Islam and in the nation of God's on earth, 3, and I thought it was a good thing that you said it, but 3 means 1, understanding, 2, trial. So that means within those first 3 years, you have to show something that shows that you're the best man for this woman. And not only that, you have to choose a woman who would be able to see and understand that she's with a man worth keeping, right? Now, you may be the man worth keeping, but she may not be the fit for you. So she can't see what she needs to see in order to say, I'm going to stay with this guy, right? So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is, I do think women are supposed to be monogamous, right? Just given about how they have children and things like that. But also, I think we're basing this off of modern times. In modern times, feminists is around saying they don't need men, things like that, because our grandmothers and great grandmothers, they didn't do this. And they were dealing with each other for 40, 50, 60 years. I remember my grandmother, after her husband died, there was no other man around. She went to the church and then that was it. You get what I'm saying? My other grandmother, same thing. After that, that was it, because these men meant the world to them. And even if they did have a guy on the side or they stuff, we did not know or see it. We just knew grandma was in the house. She was cooking for us. She took care of the family. That was it. Women nowadays, they always see the next option. So you have to know, 1, like the girl who likes you, 2, 3 years. That's after that a trial starts. So it makes sense that the dopamine dies down about the feelings, because now we have to operate on substance. This is where you get to see where and if a woman really actually loves you and likes you. If after the 3 years trial starts and she's ready to go, or she's mistreating you, she doesn't have the stickability, I guess, I don't even know if that's a word, or sustainability, then you know you should not be with this woman. If she can't see the value in you to want to stay, that's a problem. Then 3, you have to do your best to find a woman that is not like everyone else. Now, that's like a needle in the haystack out here, but you have to know, I cannot invest my time with a woman who doesn't see the value in me that I have shown her. You get what I'm saying? If she doesn't take it, then you gotta keep it pushing, because there's no way, and I'm going to continue to say it because I'm big on family, there's no way that we could have a nation like any other nation or any other community without family. How do you have family? We need our women to be monogamous. That's just plain and simple, right? So that's my take on it. I know I said a lot, but that's how I'm gonna go.
No, you're good. Okay. So how do we know? And I'm not speaking on your grandmother or anyone's grandmother, but
Yes,
we know grandma when she's mature.
yeah.
We don't know grandma when grandma was in her 1920s.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. But we
So
have to do. Yes,
we
sir.
don't I'm sorry. So we don't know what her philosophy was, because I feel like women always figure it out when they get a little older and their options start running a little drier, and then they
Yeah.
realize they want to stick it through. We don't know what kind of woman or man that these people were in their 20s. So I don't know. We don't know if, like, again, dirt was done a lot easier and a lot. You could do dirt back then. Nobody knew nothing. There's no phones. There was nothing. There's no social media. You had to tell on yourself. Like, damn, or get caught out in the street. So
Right.
I'm not saying that anyone's doing. What I'm saying is that when we look at, and I'm going back to the science only because it shows that how our brains work. So it's showing that, like you said, that the second and third year, and then the dopamine dies. I think what you saying that women are meant for monogamy, and what Muhammad is saying that they're meant for monogamy, I think y'all really are confusing that women are really. It seems like women are really only meant to procreate with you and keep you long enough so that the kid can be old enough to where they don't need you as much, based off of the way that your chemical makeup works. This is just how it seems, right? So what I'm saying is that monogamy to me, like true monogamy, because I'm going to call it serial monogamy and true monogamy. Let's make it two separate things, because true monogamy to me is a philosophy. Like Muhammad, he said, you have to have a duty to this. You have to believe in it beyond your own biology, what your urges tell you, everything. I think that one of the biggest things religion tries to teach you is the philosophy of living life. And one of those things that they try to teach you is to try to be monogamous. And because of the benefits that I think the people who sat down and thought about this when they were writing it was like, well, this is more beneficial to us as a whole, as a society, families, like you said, families are important. I agree with that. But how we are taught to go against our biology as men to try to be better and do things, but we have to start really honing in on women and realizing that there's a difference between being serial monogamous and actually being down for the long haul. You know what I mean? And I think that we need to really get on women that their dating strategy is not much better than ours. Because honestly, your biology is geared to extract resources from a man for a short period of time and kick him to the side, unless you go against that biology. You might
But
disagree with that. Go ahead.
no, but everything is built towards reproduction.
Yeah.
So just from a reproduction understanding with biology, women are not meant to entertain more than one guy. A woman is meant to be with the best guy,
No,
right?
for a few years. That's it.
Hold on. I don't agree with that because even in the religious books, prophets in the Bible had more than one. Powerful men always had more than one woman. Moses, when you look at the
Abraham.
different Abraham, the different prophets. Also in Islam,
Solid.
a man is allowed to marry, right, 4 different women. A man can have up to 4 different wives in Islam, right? So women are not meant to be non-monogamous. She can only give birth to one man's child or children. She can give birth to twins, triplets, quadruplets, but one man. A
Yeah.
man can get a whole village pregnant.
Yeah.
So, and a woman has a shorter reproductive window. Think
Right.
about that, right? So, how many men can she switch in and out while she's in her prime, while she's able to be at her healthiest to have healthy children? Since the
Let's
beginning of time, right? But listen, since the beginning of time, women have always shared men. Women have always shared men. There's more women that reproduce than men. Women have always, whether they admit it or not, women automatically go with the top guys, subconsciously understanding he's already pre-vetted. He's going to have other women because he's handsome, he's tall, he's strong, he has resources. Men, we date down. We don't give a fuck. As long as she's humble, quiet, meek, she's not promiscuous, she values herself, we'll give her a chance. So the thing that I think is happening now is, like I said, social media is giving women false thoughts as far as how many men are out there that's better than what they currently have, even though it's not true, right?
my
So, huh?
go ahead, my bad. Go ahead. My fault.
No. I was just saying. So I think women's standards are too fucking high because there's not a lot of these men to go around, right? Every woman wants a man 6 feet, make 100K, a man that has status, a man that's charming, charismatic, funny, handsome, to all of this shit. So the thing is that women are not dating on their level, right? So I don't really think it's a matter of women are not biologically meant to be monogamous. I think that they're going against their biology, while men are not.
I'm going to counter your point with you said that women date share men, right? I
Yeah,
would argue that women consciously share men only out of necessity.
you don't think it's biological? The reason why they share men?
No, I say that no, it's yeah, there's a biological component as like you said, but what you're thinking, I think it's about more of yes, say look, let me put it like this. you have been in situations where you've explained to a girl, I want to date multiple women. What happens? They always say, yes, you can do that. And then eventually they get upset. They get upset and they try to claim you for themselves. They say that because they fit into the they want to keep you in the moment, so they'll string you along, say, I'll play your game. But eventually they're trying to kick all those other women out. Now,
Well,
no,
They're not
go
trying to kick
ahead.
all those other women out. They're not trying to kick all those other women out. You have to understand women are competitive, just like men are competitive in a different way. What they're really fighting for is to
It's
be number
resources.
one. They're not looking to kick the other woman out. They're looking to be the number one woman or to be the favorite woman. They're not necessarily saying you got to get rid of them. They're just saying, I want to be the best. I want to be seen as the best. That's the only thing they're really fighting for. They're
You
not.
believe that? I don't know.
I
I don't.
disagree. Nah, but wait. I disagree. I think that in modern day time, a woman is not going to be cool if
With
that's if you're her main man, like if a girl saying Omar is my husband or boyfriend, unless she comes from a religion that's right, that look, that normalize that.
that nigga
No
laid
modern
his
day
game
woman.
down flat, boy. I don't know what you say.
I'm gonna just say, like, I don't
Let me get
know.
my
I don't know
notepad.
what game. I don't know what guys y'all
Oh,
know. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
you gotta show me. No, you gotta show me this in real time.
No,
Wait,
I don't gotta. Listen.
no,
Listen,
no. When I say show me, I mean when you get married, Omar, or when you at a function, we throw a function. I'll bring my girl. Just naturally, we be brothers, so we're gonna introduce everybody. I know.
Yeah.
If you bring your girl, and I know that she's okay, and that's your girl, 9 times out of 10, bro, modern day women are not gonna be okay with that. Now, I've heard girls say this. Even my girl said this, right? She goes, "I know you're smashing other girl." That's what she said. Just don't let me find out about it. I'm sorry. Just don't let me find out.
Why? Because she wants to know that she's the number one woman.
No,
she
it's
wants
not
the
that.
illusion, but if the
No,
second she finds out that that's not true, you are going to get a
no.
fight.
Wait.
Yo,
I don't
yeah,
think. I don't think that she thinks that those girls that I could potentially be smashing will replace her. That's not even up for discussion. No. It's just that I think most women emotionally cannot handle that shit.
look,
Like they like.
And we're not saying men are much better, but
I'm not.
we're not much
I'm
better.
not.
Because I
I'm
don't
not
want women to
saying
go, well, men can't handle it either. Yes, we know we can't handle it. I'm
No,
a guy.
we're not
but
built to
it's
handle it. We're
different
not
though.
made to
Yeah, we're
handle
not
it.
built to handle it. Thank you. Oh, we're not built to handle
I'm
that.
just saying, because you know the comment section, bro. I gotta hit
No,
the comment.
I don't care about no
Ty,
comment section. I
Ty,
don't
let's
care
go
about
back
no
to
comment section.
biology. Let's go back to biology. If she's fucking multiple men, the man won't know who the father is. It's not natural. If a woman is having sex with multiple men, only she know that baby comes from her.
Hold on. I got notes.
But hold on. It's a bad bet for paternity if you're sharing a woman. Oh, am I right or wrong, Omar?
Absolutely. But
Hold on.
I want to touch on the thing that you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because you the most humble, bro. So I gotta let you speak when you want to speak. You mad humble. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this, right? And I don't approve of the pimp game, but there's a lot of jewels in the pimp game,
Yes.
right? They got a lot of keys to life. The thing that I don't agree with about the pimp game is that they're selling women. I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
Right?
but their understanding of the thing that is women.
Absolutely. Right. So what do most women from one pimp argue about? Being
the bottom, being the bottom. Yeah.
Exactly. So the pimp, they know, they all sometimes are in the same house. They know about this guy, but they want to be number one. That's just like on the outside as well. Outside of the pimp game, the pimp game is a reflection of just regular relationships in the regular outside world. These women, if you're honest with them, 9 times out of 10, it's so funny. I was just having this conversation with my sister. If you're honest with the woman, 9 times out of 10, she's going to say okay, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, let me tell you,
9 times out of 10,
listen.
you need to teach a class.
Okay, I'm going to say the class is like the girls who like you.
I can't even say that. You can't run. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Listen, like the girls who like you, right? And be honest. Because if she likes you, she sees something in you and she knows that's something worth keeping. Now, does she want to lose you? No. Does she want to share you? particularly no. But is losing you worth? Is sharing you worth more than losing you? That's the question. If she likes you and you're a good man and you're honest, she will go along. They don't want to tell their friends and things like that because it's not socially acceptable. But a woman, if you're honest, will go along with what you're saying. You can't, but the thing about that is you cannot spring these type of things on them after the fact, because now they're looking at you as something that they looking at you as something that you weren't, that they thought you were. So they can't, they know you a sucker because you weren't even able to look me in my face and hold your balls and say, yo, I'm dating another woman, or I have another girl. This, that, another. Yeah, you're laughing. But I'm not promoting it.
I'm laughing because of your promoter. They just don't never go that way. In theory and in practice.
Who y'all? Let me ask y'all a question. Who y'all know? No. Who y'all know?
I'm a walking testament. Let me tell you something,
Then you wasn't walking that walk, huh?
No. Let me tell you. Can I tell you? Let me tell you what happened. I'm the kind of guy. Every woman that I've ever dated, I tell them up front, yo, I'm a. When it comes to that, I'm a fuck boy. I'm gonna be doing whatever I do, right? They'll sign, and now this is in the beginning, Omar and Ty. They sign up for it, but like Tyree said, I agree with this. That's their strategy to make you think that they think it's okay, even though we already hold on. Because remember, women are emotional first. Logical. A woman was, I don't give a fuck what I agree to. I can't handle it. I'm telling you,
and I'm telling you, we are two different sides of the coin.
Omar.
I don't know. I'm not saying this.
Let me ask Omar a question.
Hold on. Before you ask me a question, let me make this clear. I'm not saying this is my life. I just know people live a lifestyle. You get me? I'm not saying that.
Wait. So you don't think that women will agree to things?
He said hypothetically.
You don't think so? Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
because
sir.
This goes based upon what my theory is regarding how women behave, how they operate. They don't give a fuck about their word. They'll go back on their word based off of how they feel in the moment at the time, right? A woman can say one thing to you and renege on all that shit because she feels different. As a man,
and what do pimps do when a chick feels differently? What do pimps do? They say you got to get up out of here, right? Right.
That's what I wanted to ask.
If she says no, Johnny, please, I'm sorry, Johnny, and she's willing to get with the program, right? So now she's willing to abide by the laws because she don't want to lose Johnny, right? So then now you have a tight ship ran. I don't promote these ladies.
But now let me ask you a question. So now, what type of and I agree with you.
You making me laugh, Tom.
I agree with you.
I got a question.
All right, go ahead.
Omar, how long do you keep your women on average? What's the longest girl you got right now? I bet you it's not more than a few years, because I bet you after they try to push the issue, you got to recycle them, right?
Listen, I that doesn't even apply because I'm not saying that's my lifestyle. You get me? So you can't ask me that.
Never get the answer. Well, look, so what I suspect, right, for men who operate like this.
Always like my future wife might be fucking watching right now.
Forget it. I'm going to talk around Omar because I don't want to incriminate my brother.
Yeah, a politician.
Yeah.
It's not even incrimination if I ain't doing it, man.
Look, that nigga said allegedly, hypothetically. Look, I suspect men who operate like that, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I don't think their relationships last very long. Not because there's anything wrong with that. I just suspect that once a woman gets to the point where she wants to claim you for herself, she's tired of being one of the bunch, you're going to have a problem on your hands where, like you said, the lack of compliance into the agreement is going to make you have to cycle, which also goes back to the serial monogamy thing. My point is that we're both not really meant to date each other for long periods of time unless we really, really, really believe that shit. You
But
have
why
to
do you
go,
think women are not meant though? So I don't agree with that. I think women are
bro.
meant.
No, and you, a woman. I really believe because the science is saying it, and I believe. Look at the pattern, bro. Look at the
But
pattern
that
outside of.
science is based off of like the last, let's say, 50
The,
years when feminism has taken over and
I mean,
ran
bro,
But
if we
rampant.
go back, it's crazier.
A woman's survival is all based off of her attaching herself, unless that man dies or he gets defeated in a fucking fight where she loses faith, hold on, in his masculinity and his capability. A woman without having a strong man beside her, that can mean death. And then also too, a woman that wasn't loyal, she could run the risk of a man just kicking her to the fucking curb, to where that she would have to fend for herself. Men don't depend on women for survival, right? As a human race, we depend on women to procreate, to give birth to the next generation. But just on a based like a survival basis, men we
Everyday
never,
living kind of
yeah,
thing.
we never fucking depended on a woman. Women depend on men,
So
right? Now we have modern day constructs and things in place so that women don't need us. But just looking at like just from a beginning of time type of understanding, like they had to be loyal, bro. An unloyal
so
woman, it was
I can
over
give
for them.
you some examples of alternative ways in which people have dealt with these sort of situations. You're right. Women need protection, right? So we look at this place called the Kalani tribe, right? And they say that, well, has to do with the fact that I believe some of what you're saying might be cultural. In the Kalani tribe, women
Wait,
have
how's
sex
it
with.
cultural? No, that's
No, no.
it's
Listen,
based
what
on.
I'm saying is that some of the things that like this monogamy, like the way that you think monogamy works, like the way in which we think of like one man, one woman. Because okay, basically, what the studies have been shown is that there's been plenty of group sex like things or tribes going on where women and men of a group would have sex like they would sleep with each other like in a circle, and the tribe would kind of survive like this. Let me give you some examples, okay? So there's this place called there's a tribe called the Kulina or Kulani tribe where the women would have sex for all the men of the tribe to ensure better hunts. Um, there's a place. There's the Masul people. I think they were in China
Wait, break that down. You said the woman would sleep with different men to
just to
what?
ensure better hunts.
Explain that. How would that ensure better hunts?
I I guess if they're all fucking loose. I mean, do you go to work better when you bust a nut? I think that's the science behind it, but I don't think it's really science. But this is what I'm saying is that's their ritual. What I'm saying is that if you teach a woman whatever you teach people, like some things are cultural.
But you're
So
proving my point. I said it's cultural, it's societal, it's not based off of evolution, it's not based off of biology.
yes, but what
It's
I'm
not.
saying is that we have other than a woman, like if you want to talk about bare necessity, because I really believe biology is just a result of bare necessity. What is needed to get to the next generation?
And
Women,
all you need is one man
yes,
and
but how long
and
does a woman need you on a biological level? She
I
doesn't
just
need you
told you,
forever,
bro, without a man, without modern day conveniences, without a man, a woman could not survive.
right?
That's necessity, right? Think
Right.
about this. No police, lights out, everyone fighting for food. A woman is only as good as the
The
man
strongest
she's
man
around.
around, right?
And men are not going to put their life on the line for a woman that could possibly get pregnant by another man, right? This is why men like being jealous. Jealousy was an evolutionary adaptation. Men were willing to kill women who cheated because that can stop their lineage, right? Right? Like men, they wanted to procreate. Even dogs, two things that dogs will fight over: food and access to mate, right? So what I'm saying is a man is not going to risk his life and put his life on the line for sex and a woman he can reproduce with if she possibly is reproducing with other men, because that child might not be mine. Think about it. Whatever you believe in, Allah, Jehovah, God, whatever, Buddha. How is it to where is that if a woman slept with different men, she would know that that's her child. But the men, right, who was put there to protect her in the child, he probably didn't know if that was his child, if she was promiscuous. This is why men back in the day, after they came home from war, they wouldn't sleep with their wife for months just to ensure that the baby that she's pregnant with is their child. It goes against biology.
Okay. I would say, let me add this. Our mating strategies have been studied to be very similar to bonobos, type of monkey, right? Bonobos mate in groups where the men and women just have children amongst each other. Like, and just like, let's say it's 10 of them, 5 men and 5 women. They would sleep and whoever, and they raise the children together as a group. There are tribes like I was saying about the Mansu tribe or Musao tribe, whatever the fuck in China, where their answer to that was they never raised their own kids. They just raised their sisters' kids. And they were actually taught that, was it that tribe or another tribe? There was a tribe that was taught that jealousy amongst like women, like to not be jealous of women having multiple partners, that it was a form of being weak. I believe it was the Mansu people, because it was like some sort of philosophy that you basically are infringing upon someone's freedom by being jealous about what that person does. What I'm saying is that jealousy, although I want to agree with you that we want to say it's to ensure paternity, perhaps it is more like a something that we've been taught.
But
But when you're taught
you're
that,
talking social creations.
Yeah,
That's not proving anything. You're talking about
biological. That's not.
You're not. Yeah, you're talking about
but
a
what I'm
philosophy.
saying, your thought process behind, and I agree with you because I'm looking at this, but I'm just looking at, I look at things that contradict what I believe and try to understand it. Because I understand how I understand. You be like, well, we get jealous and that's natural, but
No. But Ty, you're missing my point. What I'm saying is that I'm not disagreeing. Like there are tribes who did things that were unusual. What I'm saying is that their practices weren't to ensure societal it wasn't to ensure that they had a high birth rate, right? That wasn't anything that went along with ensuring that they gave birth to healthy children. Yeah,
is it more natural though? Is it more natural?
No. How
It
is it
can't be more
natural?
natural if it's not
No,
going to produce.
because look how animals date. Animals just sleep. Look, the reason why I say this is because, again, monogamy is something that seems very difficult to do unless you have a strong philosophical belief in it.
Today, though, this is what
Not
I'm saying.
even before, but
not even before, because I was going to address this, what you said earlier, too. You said, how about our grandparents? How do we know? We don't necessarily know. But what we know is the stories that came from our grandfathers and our grandmothers about their relationship coming up. You never heard them talk about another man or many other men like these girls are doing today. So let's say Granny did step out. She wasn't stepping out with Tom, Dick, and Harry. She probably went and did something one time and then came back. These other women nowadays is completely different. She still was in love with her husband, even if she did step out, right? That's what we do know. We know their marriages and their relationship lasted for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. These relationships now that you're saying is about 3 years. Think about that. That's a big difference. This 3 years to 30 years is a major gap. And that's because of the social construct today. Feminism, woman independence, saying they don't need a man, the job market, things of that nature. That is not because that's a natural thing. Women are meant to be monogamous. It's just that nowadays things have been put in place, just like you're talking about these tribes, things have been put in place for the woman to do certain things. And today things have been put in place for the woman to think a certain way that they don't need a man. But then what happens when they turn 45, 50, they're crying saying, I just want a companion for life, for the rest of my life. They're not saying I want to reproduce. They're just saying I want a companion. So they are meant to be monogamous. They're not meant to be out there with many other men. You get what I'm saying? So what you're saying is based off of today's society, the last 50 years when feminism has completely taken over.
Let me counter some of your points. So when you say the 2 to 3 years versus the 30 years, women argued to back then grandmothers needed. Remember, we talk about how a lot of monogamy might be. You didn't say this, but I'm saying that a lot of monogamy might be, especially in older times, predicated on necessity. So maybe perhaps back then, grandma knew better because you couldn't have a bank account, let's say, or whatever the fuck they say about how, whatever, however She couldn't survive without granddad. So she had to have a set stay-at-home man despite whatever she does. Now that women have been liberated from that, I would argue that they're acting more naturally now because there's no longer an incentive. When you allow someone to do what they want to do without consequence,
It's
that
not
is
more
what I
naturally, Ty, because the birth rate
But,
is declining. That's why it's not natural.
but let me say this.
who
This is
says
a,
that? Go ahead, go
but
ahead, go
check
ahead.
this though, Todd. Check this. That's like saying this. If there were no laws, there would be anarchy, right? There's times I want to just kill a nigga in the streets, right? But I know there's a consequence if I do so. So that keeps me in line and in order with what is right, not to kill him.
But
Hold
we
on.
determine what we got.
Hold on. So if back then women didn't have certain access to certain things, so they were with us out of necessity, that necessity kept Granny in line with what was right. Regardless if you agree with it or not, it kept them in line with what was right. Because when you give a woman so much freedom as they have today, what are they doing? They're racking up bodies, right? They're having babies with whoever. They don't know who the father is. It's complete anarchy and war. They're lonely. They don't have companions. Their children are running wild. The incarceration rate is high. The murder rate is high. These are all from homes where mothers are by
broken
themselves.
Homes. Yeah.
These are all from homes where mothers are by themselves. So it goes to show that a woman needs to be with a man and under a rule of one man in order to keep order. Because if you're in a rule of one man here for 3 years, then you go to another rule of another man for 3 years. That's anarchy because you can't even adjust because you're adjusting to so many different rules of so many different men. How are you going to tend to the man that's in front of you when you're bringing the rules from the past man to the new man? It makes no sense. They're meant to be monogamous in order to keep order for all of us.
And look at right now, women are on more antidepressant medication than ever, anti-anxiety medication than ever. Women are more unhappy now than they've ever been. The birth rate is declining, not just in America, but in other countries, right? So it's not natural. And over time, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Just because a chief of a tribe say, hey, let's have these new sexual practices, it doesn't mean that it's built around biology, right? It doesn't mean that it's built around our survival.
What is right?
What is right. And if you sit back and just observe, you'll see what's
right
wrong.
is a concept, my friends.
No, it's not.
Right goes with
So,
biology.
so let me ask you a question. Wait, Tyler, let me ask you a question. So eating processed foods, right? So eating foods that grow from the ground,
right.
That's a concept? Or is
No, that's an
objective.
That's an objective thing.
Okay,
See?
so
But when you're talking about what's right for
Todd, what's different than a manufacturer creating foods that are artificial and you eating it? Now we have higher cases of all types of metabolic syndrome and disease and shit like that. Cancer. Is it edible? Hold on, yeah. Is it edible? Yes. Can you survive a little bit? It might taste better, it might be fun, but is it better for survival? No. So what you're saying is somebody saying, hey, this tribe practiced this sexuality. Cool. But what is the end result of that practice in comparison to when you did things that was biologically correct?
I don't disagree with you, but I want you to understand what you're talking about, and this is the problem that we as men have, is philosophy.
Wait,
you're talking. No, it's a philosophy. You're saying, oh, women should be with.
All right.
That's biology, Tom.
No, hold on.
No, how is it? No,
I'm gonna kill your argument. I'm gonna kill your argument. Philosophy is religion. I'm not even talking about religion.
You're talking about our belief of what's good and how we should operate for the.
Can you listen, Todd? You just said that religion is a philosophy, right?
It's a type of philosophy. Yes, it's a philosophy about the way to live.
Okay, hold on. You said religion is a philosophy, correct? Or am I
correct?
Wrong? All right. I'm not talking about religion. Take Islam out. Take Christianity out. Take Judaism out. I'm talking about a woman can only get pregnant by one man's child or children. That's not based off of a religious book. That's biology. Hold on. That's science. Hold on. A man has always shared women before Islam. Where do you think philosophy gets their philosophy from? They know the natural makeup of men and women. I would argue the people who wrote these religious books understood biologically that this is how it is anyway. Why do you think Islam allows a man to have 4 wives? Because logically, a man can get 10 girls pregnant at once, but Islam just cut it to 4, right? This is why in the Bible they said prophets had, many different wives. Why? Because they know biologically speaking, it's possible, right? So what you're talking about is philosophy. What I'm talking about is biology, and that's a fact.
No, let me say why it's philosophy. The moment you say right and wrong, you're talking.
I never said that.
Yes, y'all did. Y'all niggas said what is right.
No, I didn't say no. I didn't say it was right or wrong.
Okay. So
hold on. Stop. So I want you to let me just clarify my stance so that you don't misquote me. I never said right or wrong. That's subjective. I said what's built around biology, Todd. Right?
Okay. I have a counterpoint, but finish it.
But hold on. Whether a man gets 100 women pregnant, I'm not. That's what's right or wrong with that. That's for another person to decide. What I'm saying to you is that it's biologically possible, and if you want to survive, right, you're going to have one man more than not getting more than one woman pregnant. That's just the way the world naturally works.
Okay.
That's
now
just how it is.
What
a woman's attracted to is not philosophy, it's biology.
Okay, fine. What promotes the most genetic diversity?
What promotes the most genetic diversity?
What type of style of reproduction would promote because if you want to talk about what does biology want us to do? Biology wants us to procreate, correct?
Hold on, Todd. When you say biological, you said, what's the word you used?
I said what type of reproduction style from both sexes would promote the most genetic diversity? Because we talk about what we want, what we think is right, families and stuff. Do you know what biology wants?
I never mentioned family. I never mentioned family.
I'm talking about what we talked about as a whole. But what I'm saying is,
let's stay on topic. I never mentioned family.
Okay, even if we look at it from your perspective, what does biology want from you, Muhammad?
Hold on. See, now you're conflating. Now, if you're asking me what's better for the black community, if you're asking me,
I'm not asking that.
Listen what I'm saying to you, so I can make myself clear so you understand my stance. What I'm saying is this time. If you're asking me what's better for a productive society, it is a nuclear family, right? Cool. We're not talking about what's better for society, what's right or wrong.
Fine.
I'm saying to you that one man, biologically speaking, can get 1,000 women pregnant, and that's good for survival. Remember, a woman's prime in her reproductive window is very small.
Sure.
Right? So he can get 100 women pregnant, move them out, get another 100 women pregnant, move it out, and another 100 and move it out. What I'm saying to you is, what you're saying is that if you let people be right naturally, what will happen? You'll have a small group of men getting a bunch of women pregnant, right? Now, is that right or wrong? That's not the discussion. What I'm saying is what's biologically natural, Tom. I'm not saying the philosophy.
No, yes, what you're saying. Okay, I agree. That's more natural. And I'm trying to get down to how are we supposed to date, right? Not how are we supposed to date, because that's a philosophy versus a biology. No. Listen, bro. I understand what you're saying. All right, let me just respond to you directly, because you're thinking I'm not understanding. What you're saying is that the best men tend to get a lot of women because the women need that man to survive. They want to be with the best man. This is what you're saying, right?
I'm saying from a biological standpoint,
yes.
Women, they are most likely to gravitate towards the men that are the most valuable. Yes.
Okay, yeah. What happens when that man dies?
Then she can go get another man.
But
that's extreme.
Listen, I agree.
But I said to you, if her man dies or he gets defeated, right, in a combat situation, she's naturally going to want to be with the next guy, right?
So then that's not monogamy.
But monogamy is a concept. It's a social. Monogamy is a philosophy.
If there's nobody else, if her man dies and he's no longer there to be with,
I'm saying no. What I'm talking about is a situation if he gets defeated. Because if he dies, yeah, she gets to move on. What I'm saying is that she's going to switch partners at some point. You're not going to be the best man forever. You're not going to be.
Back then, women were not switching partners like that.
Because of necessity, because it was hard to. But now that it's easier to, look at what they do.
But we were surviving better back then than we are. The birth rate is declining now. So what does that tell you?
So was that because of a social construct back then, no, Ty? Was that because of a social construct? So think about this. It's a social construct now, it's a social construct then. Which social construct was producing better results?
The other one, the old one.
So then which one we would say is more along biology and nature? The old one, right?
Why would you say that? Just because it's the result that you think is positive?
Better results. Yes, absolutely. If something is
producing better results,
that's the thing that you would go with.
That's logical. Yes, I agree with that. You would want to do the thing that gets the best. No, but listen, bro. Yes, I agree with that. That is very logical. Do the thing that works more. But the thing is, this is what, in us removing that necessity,
but that's not
I think we've gotten.
It's not logic. It's not logic. So logic would be, this is a smarter decision, right? What we perceive to be a smarter decision. I'm just saying, from a biological standpoint, it doesn't serve a woman well.
But biology it's a logical
thing. It's a type of logic. It's nature.
Hold on. Biology is a logical thing.
It's a type of logic. It's how do I ensure survival?
So hold on, Ty. If biology is a logical thing, and biology is natural, the natural biological logical thing to do would to be go along with what nature is saying to do,
right?
Which is women stick with one man. That's simple.
Because here's the thing, Ty.
Breakdown. That's 1 + 1 = 2.
Because here's the thing. Because here's the thing. If a man only spends time with one woman, that means he can't make other babies. Think about it. Think about that. If what's more biologically sound, if you wanted to populate the earth quick, would you say, hold on, man, only reproduce with this one lady, wait 9 months after she gives birth, wait a couple of months until she heals, then get her pregnant again? Or is it smarter to one man impregnate her, impregnate her, impregnate her, impregnate her, impregnate her?
That one, that's the smarter one for biology. For biology.
So that's what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about biology. We're not talking about what's right or wrong, Ty.
I don't care. I agree. We're not talking about what's right or wrong.
So what I'm saying to you is that, what are you talking about?
Agree.
No, what I was saying is when you talk about, like, when you say, like,
no, you're saying
I want to get to the most natural. What is the most? I want to understand what is the most natural state of reproduction.
What the most natural was, though.
The most natural state is one man getting many women pregnant. Ty,
I'm not gonna go that far.
No, I'm not saying it's right.
I know. I had to get it out of y'all. I had to get it out. Pause. But I had to.
But Ty, if a man was rich, he could take care of 10. He would have 10, and the broke niggas got a deal. Reproducing is a privilege. Wait, reproducing is a privilege. Just like animals fought to the death to be able to have access to a female. There's a bear right now. I think the bear is in either Alaska or Canada. His name is Old Grumpy, right? And they've been following this bear for years. Yo, bro, he fathered over like 100 different bears. Why? Because he was the roughest, toughest motherfucker around. And some of his fur is missing. He has scars all over the face. That motherfucker went through so many wars, right? He fought other bears to get access. And his genes are what's out there the most. He had to fight for that, right? Same thing with humans. The best way to procreate quicker is one man with many women. It's not one man, one woman, and wait. No.
So do you think we're too advanced now? Because we've created a situation where that necessity won't happen, and women will not comply to that situation unless there's necessity.
Men have always stayed the same. Women have, out of the sexes, women have changed.
But I would say this, though, right? I would say this. I think that's a good question, Todd. I would say this. I do think we're at the point now where it's not necessarily necessary to have every man having multiple women to procreate with. Everybody ain't built like that. And Everybody ain't built like that, and it's not necessary at this point in time. We have 7 billion people on the earth.
Only for you,
Every
right?
man, huh?
Only for you. Only necessary for you, right?
You listen. I'm not saying that's my lifestyle. If it's not my lifestyle, I would have to deal too. I would have to watch another man have 4 whatever woman and do whatever he does, and I would have to just stick with my one, right? If I'm eligible for one, that's it. But we gotta all know our place. Every man doesn't qualify for multiple women, and
I agree with that.
So that's just the case. That's really a burden put on the best type of men, right? That's the y'all laughing.
Nigga said
That's
I'm
really
drowning in this shit, man. Nigga said I'm drowning, bro. I can't keep all of them. Nigga said, where
That's a bad problem to have, right?
nigga, but it's not, yeah, right.
listen,
But
because women, think about it. If you're taking on more than one woman,
that's a
I
lot.
know
that's a lot of emotions. That's a lot of personality.
multiple
That's a lot of
problems.
bills.
You got
That's a lot of
a lot of
that's a lot.
listening.
Yeah, and you have to be able to distribute yourself between these women. That's a
But they
heavy
gotta,
burden.
you know what it is too? They gotta come from a family that that's used to that and understands how to handle that. Women like that, bro, they're groomed from young to be able to handle
Don't
those
use that
situations.
word, bro. Groomed is a bad word to
I
use.
know, bro. No, but you could be
Now they
groomed.
made it a bad word,
Like,
but it is what it
But
is.
I'm just saying,
No,
man.
I'm saying like,
but we
no,
can't.
but I'm saying
Be
like,
bending. Nah. We can't be bending to this type of shit.
no,
You know what I
but
mean?
you could
Like,
be groomed by the streets. You could be groomed by society. You could be
so
groomed
when a
by
man want to groom you, all of a sudden it's a bad thing. Nah, I don't want to hear it, cuz. If they
yeah,
don't like it, then they got to deal. That's
yeah.
just a fact.
But I mean, like women. You know, those women typically come
You
from
laughing?
families. I'm saying those women were raised in families like that where their moms
Yo,
or
I got to
aunties.
say so.
No, I'm saying like their moms or aunties were one of 4, right? Most women who are one of 4, mother was one of 4, auntie was one of 4, sister was so. So to them, it's normal, it's natural, and they were raised to think a certain kind of way to accept that. That's not something that you just out of the blue. You're gonna be one of 4 when she already in her 20s. That's something that she was raised to understand. You know.
Right, but
So
even if she wasn't, but
until
go
we
ahead,
get to
yeah.
a point where it's necessary to date, because I don't believe women accept this outside of necessity. Like
Yeah, it's
until,
hard. Yeah, most women are
so
not, bro. Most women are not gonna accept
so
it.
then we are no longer going to be dating naturally from now on, is what you're telling me.
We're not dating naturally now.
Yeah, but I'm saying until we get to a
It
point.
is still natural because listen, if we've gotten to the point where we don't need that anymore, right? But in some cases, some men do have to take on that burden because it's just bestowed upon them. I'm being funny.
Nigga said, I
Yeah, this
gotta
guy,
fuck these
man.
hoes, man. I
Yeah.
got to, man.
Not me, bro.
I'm
Not
just,
me. Not me. It's not.
somebody gotta do
Not
it.
me. Not me, brother.
Yeah,
Not
this
me.
guy
Not me.
crazy.
Glad God saved me. But what I'm saying is, some men will have to take on that role, but for the majority of us, that is not the case. And
Nigga
we
trying to
do.
identify with the little man. Nigga said for the majority of us. Nigga said,
No. Yo, like, if you can't bench
Nah,
press
I'm joking.
315,
I'm joking. YouTube, I'm
if you
joking.
can't bench press 315, you can't do it.
Look, listen, bro.
If
Honestly,
you can't do a muscle up, if
I
you
don't
can't
know
do a
what
muscle
I
up,
don't know
you
what
can't
this
do
nigga do. I don't know what this
it.
nigga do. But I'm just joking because it's just funny as fuck. But
It's funny as hell. It's
this
funny as
nigga
hell.
got
That's why I
all
keep
the answers,
laughing.
but he know all the shit, but he don't do
I
it
don't
though. You know
partake,
it.
brother. This is not my. I'm not saying that this is my lifestyle.
Yeah, always just an observer. He's just observing.
He
That's
just
it.
he
No,
just
I don't fit in
a
a lot of
student of the game.
categories.
He's a student of the game.
That's it. I don't fit in a lot of categories, and I'm cool with that because I know my lane. Sometimes I'm in the middle lane, right? And sometimes I got to go to the far right because the big dog's coming. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
He said, sometimes though, I'm the big dog. He said, it just happens to be so, sometimes, he said,
Sometimes
sometimes
I'm in
I'm
the
in the
left
left
lane. You gotta get out the way, cuz.
Got a deal.
lane. Yeah.
Got a deal.
But so, if we're never going to get back to natural dating again, what does the future of dating look like?
You know,
Um,
I like the girl who likes you and ride over to the sunset.
yeah.
That's my answer.
I think it's
And
gonna get.
if
think it's gonna get
science
worse.
dictates that even that girl that's gonna ride with you in the sunset, chemical makeup is such that she is not meant to really stay with you past 3 to 4 years, what do you do about that?
She don't like you, cuz they basing that off of dudes dating women who don't like them. That's just what I'm seeing, because a woman that like you, she gonna see the best in you. She gonna look for the best in you, and she looking to stick around. Trust me. But that's from, I don't have any data. This is just from experience, and this is just from what I've observed. Like the girl who likes you, and life will be much easier. But if you're trying to get with the girl who doesn't like you and the girl that you like, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have to continuously try to appease and maintain this woman's interest. That's bad business, and it keeps you off of your goals and your mission in life. No woman will be attracted to that. So in 3 years, you're gonna be washed up, used, all your resources is done, and she got to be on to the next. I'm brother O, and that's all I have to say.
Man, I mean, I could do more, but we'll save it. But
let's do a part 2 to this. This is a good discussion.
yeah, I'm gonna go more into the science of this and see, because I honestly, I'm on the side of, I don't think monogamy is really natural. I just think we're meant to just keep switching partners, man. As much as I want to believe in love,
that shit sounds dirty.
And I know it sounds dirty, but at the end of the day, we're animals, and when we left to our own devices, we seem to date like it.
But
how often? Wait! How often have you seen? We see more of the dirty shit than we see of the monogamy. If monogamy was so natural to us, we would be able to do that more easy than we do the dirty shit. But for some reason,
we've been conditioned.
But Todd, but here's here's my rebuttal to that. The problem is, even now, women would just be having kids with. It'll be like one man having like 6 baby mothers, and that's what you're seeing now. It's more natural. The top dog's always gonna eat. The top dog always gonna eat.
Always gonna
so
eat.
again, that goes back to
shit.
That's not
let it go, don't hold
that's
on.
That's not monogamy. That's the old animal way.
That's my little word of advice. Let her go. She'll be back, and don't take her back when she comes back.
But on title, even in modern day times, even though it's getting worse, like look at the stat in the Black community. More women have fathered. More women have had children than men. It's always going to be the weak men left out.
Unfortunately.
Okay,
and
so
those weak men are actually good guys, bro. Like weak men. I don't want to say they are weak.
So the bears that get the bear that gets defeated is probably a nice bear, but he just can't.
He can hide with her. He can say, "Baby, let's go in this cave." He can think, right? He got other attributes, but she don't want that. She want the top dog who she don't qualify for. But if she don't qualify for, she got to be okay with being number 3. You get what I'm saying? She got to be okay with being number 3 or 4, because 1 and 2, they top girls. You get me?
Okay, I'll leave it with this. The most natural thing that science says, because I didn't finish it, is that women tend to go to guys who are the top guys to get the genetics, and then they go to the lower guys to raise those kids. So I argue that no one, the top guy or the weak guy, is going to really have that woman for the complete duration of her mating period.
But that's still his choice, though. But he
He's either going to have her first half or her second half. That's
But guess what though? If that top dog gave her that chance to like be close, she will stay with him. She only goes to the weak guy because the top dog, he's just busy.
But that goes back to what I was saying. When she tries to secure you for herself, when she tries to secure you for herself, and she can't, and she moves on to the next guy, because you're like, she's gonna stay. It's not gonna. You get what I'm saying now? Do you see how it's gonna always?
But guess what though? No, but guess what though? When she gets with the next guy, her reproductive cycle is finito. She might not even remember. She might be 40 when she gets with the next guy.
But biology job was done, and monogamy still is not. But the biology job was done, but monogamy is not preserved. You see what I'm saying?
Because.
But that's because. Yeah, because he's not giving her.
He got her up out of there. If he don't got no value for her no more, she got to go to the next.
I get it, but do you see how both sides of how we date naturally is not fucking geared towards monogamy?
That's because of a social construct. But I hear you, son. Like we've been on this forever.
All right, go ahead. Well, I'm done.
Yo, Todd, let's do a part 2 with the same.
It's a good topic.
With the same topic, bro.
All right, I'll do more research.
Let's go. Todd, take us out.
Yo, the Guys Podcast, bro. Thank you for listening to me talk about nothing but bullshit for like an hour. Because I don't even think there was any real structure to this. But
It's all right. Next time.
fuck it, man. This is what we do. Guys Podcast, Capture Media. You have my brother Muhammad, my other brother Omar. It's been a pleasure. Tyree, we out.
We out.